You are listening to iFanboy Pick the Week episode 997. My name is Conor Kilpatrick. I'm here with Josh Flanagan.
Hey there.
I'm always here
Sport.
with Josh Flanagan.
Hey there, sport.
And Dr. Ryan Haupt is joining us this week.
Hey there, science. I don't know. What's the opposite of sport?
Welcome to iFanboy 2025. It's our 20th year of doing this show and our 25th year of doing iFanboy. And that means that every week for 25 years, one of us has picked the book they like the best from their stack of comics. We call that book the pick of the week. We'll talk about that book, other books from the week, the Patron Pick, their powers, listener mail. We'll have a good time. And as we stumble ever so closer to episode 1000, here's your spoiler warning. Exercise some caution.
The
this
last
week.
episode of Oh, I'm sorry. We weren't supposed to. Sorry.
That's for the end of that show.
Sorry.
This week, Ryan, you had to pick.
I did, and I decided to go with Batman number 2. I was not on the show when Batman number 1 was the pick, so I didn't get to join in that discussion. So I'm excited to discuss this next issue with you all. It's Matt Fraction, Jorge Jimenez, Timo Mori, and Clayton Cowles, published by DC Comics. And yeah, I was not expecting to get a really solid Tim Drake Batman issue. Felt like this was a lot of fun. Felt like it captured some of the Tom Taylor Nightwing energy that I've been missing. It's a little bit silly. It's a little bit grim. It's got some of the fraction-y things that, like defining the devices and their capacities and their carrying weights and all that stuff. I thought Jorge Jimenez's cartooning was incredible and felt like it dealt with the issue is dealing with Tim Drake coming into his own as a Robin. I don't know why Damian's already there. That doesn't make sense. But
he's not coming into his own. This is there's a flashback where he's learning to drive, but this is the current day where he is been Robin and retired as Robin.
There were a few storytelling issues, but I just thought it looked beautiful. I thought this was a hell of a good looking Batmobile, and getting to drive the Batmobile for the first time is a big plot point for Tim in this issue. I still don't love Vandal Savage as the commissioner, but I like the idea that Batman is no longer buddy-buddy with the GCPD. I know that they tend to go in fits and starts there, depending on who's in power in Gotham. But I just really enjoyed this issue. I liked watching Tim learn to drive stick. I don't know. That's a thing, a lost art.
You can barely buy a stick shift anymore. So
yeah.
Why you got to use the old truck. And then, and I did learn to drive stick shift on a big old Ford, and have never driven a 13-geared Batmobile, but loved that gag where he talked about the gears for spatiotemporal hijinks, and then the secret gear that he doesn't want to discuss yet. So I just thought, it was a great blend of Batman action, a bit of a mystery, some cool bat tech, and then the relationship between Batman and this current his current Robin at that time. So it was the most fun I had with the book this week.
It was terrific again. What I really love is there's lots of things I love about the book, but what I really love about this is that they're sticking with this. I'm talking like it's been out for 20 issues. They're doing this one and done storytelling, but it's also driving forward an overall story. So we had Batman and Killer Croc in the first issue. This issue is all about Tim Drake encountering the GCPD. They're much more violent GCPD under the Vandal Savage. He gets wounded. He gets arrested. He gets the victim of police brutality, and so but that story is resolved while also pushing the larger story of Vandal Savage, running the Gotham City Police Department, and Vandal Savage, issuing the order at the end to, Batman and Robin are now enemy combatants in Gotham. And this is, anyone who's read comics for any amount of time knows that every few years they change the relationship between Batman and the police. So like, someone will come along and he is considered a criminal, and then he'll save the day and he'll be in the good graces again for a few years, and then someone will come along and he'll be considered a criminal again. That's just the way that comics go. And so now we're back into the point where Batman and Robin are no longer considered allies of the police. Although I did like that was the one cop who's like, this guy is a good guy. Like, why are we doing this? And so there's a lot of interesting things going on here. Fraction explored a lot of fun things. I love the flashbacks. I love the stuff learning to drive, because that means we get Batman family stuff. We get Batman, Alfred, and Tim, and a little bit of stupid Damian. And am I crazy, or did he tell Tim to hit Damian with his car? Seemed like he told him to do that.
Well, moments after Damien hit Tim with a hose for no reason whatsoever.
Right,
Also,
there is quite a gulf between the hose hit and the vehicle hit.
Right.
But the hose hit was completely uncalled for.
Again, though, there is a measure.
One will get you thrown in jail.
Yeah.
One won't.
Also,
the hospital.
Like, I had to laugh at them washing the Batmobile out in the open in broad daylight on the grounds of Wayne Manor.
I did laugh about that. I was like, I guess there's no paparazzi trying to shoot Bruce Wayne's house.
Far enough back in time, there were no drones overhead looking for,
Yeah, this was just terrific. And Jorge Jimenez is wonderful. The Tomo Murray colors. I don't love the all red Robin costume. I think green is an important color element for Robin, but it just, the movement on the costume with the scalloped cape like Batman has, and there's a whole fight scene in the middle where Robin is thrown into the back of the there's no way to, I don't know what is the good word for paddy wagon. Thrown in the back of the police vehicle with the
prisoner transport
with the other criminals who want to kill him.
I don't know another word for it.
I don't either, and
I was just trying to figure it out.
Irish descent, so I'll be fine with it. Where he has to fight them while he's handcuffed in the back of this police van, while they're also being driven around in the what is the terrible term for it? The rough ride, which is what happens. And so I thought that was a great sequence. This is just a wonderful comic.
It's funny because I did have a moment as I was reading it where Vandal Savage is getting his thing, and I was like, nobody would be okay with this. And I was like, Josh, it's a metaphor. Oh, right. Okay. Sorry. It really, because for a second I was like, that's absurd. And I also had like one of those things where just because of everything that was happening, I was like, what continuity is this? And I don't ever do that. That's a Conor thing. But I was genuinely like, because Vandal Savage he looks exactly like the Ra's al Ghul in the other book. And he does.
I was thinking about that a lot this week.
Yeah.
So I definitely am going back and forth on who's who and what's what. But for me, I think the best thing is to just take this as on its own as is. Like whether it fits in or doesn't, they'll figure it out later. I can just sort of go with this story. And it's right. You're right. Having Tim, I was very surprised that we had Damien because maybe in my mind I was thinking it was Elseworlds because I was just like, oh, I guess there's Damien in this book. Or for a second, I dared to dream. I was like, maybe they're just gonna ignore him, like he's off on his.
They kind of
Robin
are, other than being like the jerk at the car wash. He's not in the book. Otherwise, he's not in the adventure. He's not out on the street. I find it interesting that so many creators just don't want Damien around, and some love him, and that's totally fine. And the people in charge love him, and they're the only ones that count. But I know from talking to some creators, but also like just this book, like this would have been very easy to do this story with Damien instead of Tim. But there's a reason why.
Damien is like he's like a scene stealer in a way. Yeah. So to have him in the book, it tends to be all about him. He's not a side character. He is, and I'm just realizing this as I think about it, like he's kind of a main character. So when he's with Batman, like any narcissist, it makes it all about him.
Right,
and yeah, I think maybe that's one of the things that people don't like about him, or it's just like when he's there, he's just sucking up all the air in the scenes. And even in this, he was. So get him out of the way for a little while. I don't mind him in his own books, oddly enough, because I think not all of them, but I've read good ones. But it's less of an issue there because it's his story. But even in like the Tom Taylor stuff and in the Matt Rosenberg stuff, like he's a main character in that because he is. You like him or not, like he's a main character. It's just Guy Gardner's like that.
It would be a different story. I mean, you could do the skeleton of this story with Damien, but it would be a very different outcome.
Yes.
Because Tim and Damien are just different characters and they have different approaches to life. Damien would have been much more brutal in the van fight. He would have been much more brutal with the criminals. It just would have been a different story. But anyway, this is very good.
And him doing like not knowing how to drive stick would have been played completely differently because he's got so much pride and he's would make excuses and whatever. And whereas Tim's beating himself up about it. And he's like, yeah, I did get it in my own head. He's much more introspective. So you're totally right. It's a totally different character.
I find it, so I'm cool with the new suit, the new bat suit. Like like we talked about last time, Josh. I think I would have liked the yellow oval for the blue because the yellow and the blue go together really well. But I like it. It's funny to see it in other books where they're trying to do it. What was the book this week? It was
I feel like the bat symbol on the chest is too big for there to be a yellow oval and it not.
Oh no, totally. We were just saying we would love the old yellow oval look back if they're going to go back.
But we'll take 85-90% of it basically.
Of the blue, the blue and gray. Yeah.
I also
there was
think
a different. Well, I was saying there's a different book this week where he appeared. I can't remember if it was Absolute Evil or if it was Just League Omega Act, but they're still coloring him like it's the old suit. So like,
Absolute Evil would be Absolute Batman.
The new it was the new, not Absolute Batman. The Just League Omega Act, maybe that was it. Where they gave him the new belt and the new chest symbol, but they colored the blue really, really, really dark, and so they haven't really gotten, I think, the memo about it. I'm also trying to decide how I feel about the logo, which I like a lot more than the old one, but I feel like it gets lost. Like on this cover, it gets lost amongst all the other blue.
It's very closely related to my absolute favorite Batman one, and if it's got to be modernized because you can't use the other one for some reason, whatever. I will say you had mentioned the red on the Robin, and I think that over the last however many years they've kind of established that when you see red, that's Tim. I think was he Red Robin, and I think. And it's an instant signifier, so we know which Robin that was. Oh, it's Tim.
Damian wears like kind of like gray now.
Yeah, and the
Tim wears blue, Tim wears red, and then
But what I was going to say is that it does look really good on. It looks really good on the cover. Like it's
it
blue
pops
next to the red. Like it's a really nice contrast.
When I saw the cover, I was like, "Oh, that's nice. That's a nice drawing."
It sort of looks like Batman has his hand on Robin's hip.
Well, he does metaphorically, like he's there to help him.
He's guiding.
Actually, it looks like he's punching him in the kidney.
I thought the only part, it was an important plot element. They needed Batman concussed for Tim to need to drop in the car, but it just didn't seem the way those panels were done. We're just like, wait, how did the cop get the drop on him? Because he hears the gun cocking, turns his head, and I guess just couldn't react fast enough, which didn't feel.
Well, I mean, the guy just lifted the gun up and shot him. So,
I know, but they had an entire panel beat where he hears that happening, like his head tilts a little bit, and so I feel like, don't include that moment of him recognizing the incoming threat and then still have him get hit.
Well, I don't know. I see what you're saying. I totally don't necessarily think it's wrong, but I think you go through periods of how invincible is Batman, and I think we've talked a lot about like toning him down a little bit is probably good for a while, like. Having him be a little fallible is not such a bad thing in the story. But I thought this was fun. I was so happy this came out. I don't know why I wouldn't, but when I saw it on the list, I was like, yes, great. And I was happy that the second issue was fun, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm really, we should mention, because we've talked about it in the last issue, just in case anyone doesn't know, Alfred is not an AI. Alfred does not appear in this issue, other than in the flashbacks to when Bruce is teaching Tim to drive. So we'll find out exactly what he is. He's probably a manifestation of Bruce's inner monologue, but he does not appear in this issue, and we'll see how that goes. But
would this have been your pick, Conor?
I don't think I thought about it, but there's a very good chance.
You got to understand the mental break that we get to take when it's not our pick.
I believe
the only time that we say like, "Oh, this would have been our," when it's like really crazy obvious, like this book was great. Other than that, we do not commit. If you don't have to do it, you don't do it.
I get it.
But in the running for sure. Let's talk about Absolute Evil #1. The I guess a special issue taking place in the Absolute Universe by Al Ewing and Giuseppe Cavancoli and Stefano Messi. And so this is this issue where all the villains get together for reasons I can't remember anymore.
They're on the evil world, and there's like, hey, there's a lot of these superheroes popping up, and we've been able to take care of everything up to now.
Right.
But this is screwing up our style. What are we going to do about it? And then
fascist Hawkman shows up and helps.
It's a lot of talking around a table in a room with one of the best artists available.
Hawkman, traditionally, at least in the early modern age and sort of like the 80s, and he was considered like right wing. So like that
and especially contrasting that with Ollie.
Right. So I thought that was a fun callback where this starts with a flashback to the to the McCarthy era where Hawkman. So in the comics, the Justice Society is brought before the House Un-American Committee and told to unmask and name names, and they all went, get lost, and they went into hiding. Here, Hawkman goes, "Sure, I'll name names." He's basically John Wayne. So
he's the comedian.
Yeah. So then that plays off later when he shows up as basically a murderous arm of the
a jackbooted thug.
Much like last week when Ultimate Clint Barton was unceremoniously killed, we have absolute Green Arrow, Ollie Queen being unceremoniously killed. So it's been a bad month for archers.
I just didn't know. I didn't know that, like obviously hearing a one-sided phone call when you're out in public is really annoying. I didn't know it would be so annoying to read in a comic too. I really did not like that.
It went on for some time.
There was plenty of room on those pages for a few more word balloons of what Roy was saying in response. In my opinion,
or less of what I mean. Like if you flip through the first few pages of this, there are just walls of text bubbles. I mean, like going one after another. And I will tell you this, not really an Al Ewing fan. I thought this was pretty good. And when I say that, what I just mean is that like it was comprehensible. Because when I don't like it, it's because it starts going off into stuff that just doesn't make sense to me. And it's almost despite a lot of things that I don't think were done well, meaning that it's mostly these villains talking in a room. It really
is. I'm scrolling through it, and it's.
By the way, a room that is woefully underappointed for people this important. That is like a Holiday Inn Express.
Yeah. There's no wet bar. There's no like artifacts. There's nothing on the walls.
Like they want to be low key or whatever, but like that's too low. That's what I was like. Oh,
well, there is a wet bar, but look how small the room is.
Yeah, like it's ridiculous. The drug dealers and the wires, when they have the thing at the Ramada, it's a better room than that. Yeah. I think the Sopranos were in a better room. It's ridiculous. Like budget isn't the issue. They'd probably buy the whole hotel out. Anyway, there's barely enough room for an Oliver Queen corpse.
Which you knew was coming, which you had to know was on the agenda for the meeting.
So despite
maybe that, maybe not a public agenda, but
sure. So despite all of that, I did get the sense as I was reading this, like a lot of this would have been awesome to show up
in a book
6 months ago, 8 months ago, a little earlier. So, because we'd said over and over, like these books are supposed to be connected, but they were giving them time to each go through their own characters. And I was like, this is actually much more interesting than most of what is happening in the other books, at least in terms of really decompressed storytelling. There was 12 issues of sort of like getting us to go. And we're not talking about Absolute Superman this week, but the main takeaway of it, which is related to this, is that like he actually fucking talked. We actually got to know who the character was.
It was like one of the best issues of the series because of that. Yeah.
And it's just because. But this was like that. I was like, oh, okay, I understand what the world is. You know who needs one of these? Dennis Camp over in the Ultimate. Like, it doesn't even have to be that good to just be like, you've given me something. Thank goodness.
Did Hawkman kill Green Arrow with his mace? Is that like a mace hole in his side of his head?
Yeah, I think so.
He's got giant mace.
Oh yeah,
mace doesn't have spikes. It has like, yeah.
He's got kind of a Black Hawk outfit.
Yeah, that's interesting. You're right. I mean, it's just I didn't notice. I mean, I guess I didn't notice at the time because I was interested in what was happening. That it was just mostly just a lot of talking. But
no, and like they got away with it to a certain extent.
No, it worked. It worked. Are they saying that Wildcat took a bribe?
I was going to bring that up. I don't think that's okay.
I don't think that's
well.
Okay,
this is the battle to Absolute World. It's not the same guys.
Don't like it.
He's not the same. No, I don't either. But I had to be like, well, it's their thing. Do what you need to. I don't like a lot about it. I also do. It's the other thing that happened is in the middle of this, they kind of summarize what's happening in all of the Absolute books.
Right, so if you haven't checked them out, you can be like, oh, now I know what's happening in most of the books.
But I was like, so I don't even have to read it because it took them 5 issues to explain what they did in this one page, and I think that's a problem. So that was really useful. But I also think they needed to do a better job of introducing who these bad guys are, because outside of Vandal Savage and then was it Hector Hammond?
Yep.
Yeah, sorry, I get him mixed up with whoever the leader is.
That's fair.
I didn't really know who any of them were.
Well, you had the Joker, who was constantly referred to as a guy with no sense of humor. And then you had
I didn't know that.
Fawn, the blonde woman. There's two blonde women. One with short hair. She is the villain on the Flash. She's female Fawn. It's supposed to male Fawn who's reverse Flash.
Sure, no, and that's fine.
I'm just telling you so you know. And then
I got there. That's not the point though. Is if like this is it a comic book or is it a novel that we have to read every part of? Like, do you want to help me get everything? Because if I'm not reading all the books, you're not really helping me. And it's a comic book. You're supposed to do that a little bit, and people keep forgetting basic comic book superhero comic book etiquette is, especially this is a number one, absolute evil. Give something. You got to give them something. Unless this is just an addendum for all of the people who happen to be reading all of the books, and it's just.
Well, I think this is. I mean, it's just a one shot. I think. Sure. We should mention it's a pretty big thing. They introduced absolute Lex Luthor, who is a bearded It's if Lex Luthor never left Smallville. He's a farmer. He's wearing flannel, tucked into his jeans,
which all fit exquisitely.
And he's got kids. They're asleep. He's got a wife. Seems to be living happily in this farm. I do wonder what this signifies. I didn't know this was coming. I was surprised to see it. To date, all the Absolute books have been pretty on their own to the point where they don't even seem possibly in the same world. And so, does it signify that there's some sort of crossover coming, or are they going to start now integrating? Like, I'm just curious what the point of this was, other than
I really do think it was useful to finally draw some threads between everything.
Cool, totally.
And
I enjoyed it.
I found that to be, I did too. And I am complaining, but not really about anything that, if it's me, what was in charge?
All right.
I did like their version of the Hall of Justice. But
yeah. I mean, it was good. It was good. Let's take a quick break. Josh will complain some more to us, and then we'll be back right after.
I will.
All right, Justice League, the Omega Act Special #1. Joshua Williamson. In our copy, there was no credits page, so I don't know if there was a credits page in everyone else's copy. But what I could glean from looking around was Joshua Williamson wrote it, Yasmin Putri and Kian Tormey drew it. Don't know who did the colors, and Dave Sharp lettered it. I think this is what the team was. We talked about Superman last week with Booster Gold and Superman fighting the Dark Legion, coming back to the present, and we were like, well, we don't know where this is going. Well, it went into this issue. I don't know why they did this, and not just a page of Superman, but they did it here, and because it's all the same stuff we've been following Superman with Doomsday, and I thought this was really good, and I just continue to really like how they're handling Doomsday here and what they've done with this character. Was it in this comic? I've read so many things lately. Was it in this comic where it was implied that Doomsday wasn't created to kill Superman?
Yeah, it was. It's the flashback with Lara and Ursa on Krypton.
So he was created to kill Darkseid, right?
Which I kept getting a little confused reading this issue. I kept forgetting that Doomsday is not Darkseid. Like because the redesign of him being more, a little more lithe, which more lithe for Doomsday puts him more in a body type of a Darkseid, and they're talking about both characters constantly, and so I had a little bit of a hard time keeping track of who was saying what and who's good and who's bad and who's there for what purpose. And yeah, this was the one where Ursa and Lara realize it's not ultimate weapon, it says absolute champion.
Right.
And so Doomsday is supposed to be the absolute champion of the DC universe to take out Darkseid, who is already dead.
Yeah, this was the comic where I was talking about where Batman looks a little goofy when he's not drawn by Jorge Jimenez, but they'll figure it out.
And these people all read Greek, or at least some of it.
Well, that was even in Absolute Evil, like the particle that the Joker finds, the Omega particle, makes a little Omega symbol. Like, wow, that was convenient that your subatomic particle makes the right symbol. Yes,
I mean, on Earth, maybe, but
Darkseid's as good as branding as Batman is. He always puts his brand on.
It's true.
I really like the scene where Booster is talking to Doomsday, and Doomsday's like, "Yeah, I really, we fought and killed each other." He's like, "Yeah, I was there. Like, Booster was one of the Justice Leaguers that Doomsday fucked up.
Yeah,
So he
no,
killed
that was
Superman.
a good moment of Booster reminding Doomsday that he was on site.
They should have had a flashback, shot of that, because I think people do forget. I don't think I've ever even seen. I'm sure it's happened, but I can't remember ever seeing the other characters react to Doomsday constantly coming back, because he almost killed all them too, and that was, so it was like Booster Gold and Blood.
It was a pretty second stringer
Maxima.
Justice.
Yeah, it was the
Justice.
late
Oh, yeah.
night. It was the mid '90s post Justice League International team of Booster Gold and Maxima and Bloodwind.
Metamorpho.
I don't
I think Fire and
know
Ice
if
were on there.
Metamorpho, or I don't know if Fire and Ice were there anymore, but I just the Booster Gold definitely got. And was Beetle on the team still? I don't know, but Booster Gold for sure got beat up pretty bad. So that was a good scene. I just thought this was interesting. I liked what they're doing at Doomsday, and I'm looking forward to it. And this leads directly into DC KO, which starts next week. And I think I rolled my eyes initially when I saw them announce the premise or whatever it was. I'm not even sure what the premise is, but whatever. I'm enjoying what DC has been doing, so I'll roll into KO, and which hopefully rolls into the dark side, and we'll see what happens. But I mean, I'll do it. I'll read it. I'll be into it.
I think my takeaway from this, and I don't even know that I realized it while I was reading it, because it read really well, and so you move through it. But man, just flip through this. Every page,
really good looking.
Not only really good looking, but it is extremely dynamic. It is lots of action. If you look at, like, there's something really interesting done on every page, and even the ones where I don't remember looking. Okay, see. Look at, if we're talking about page 18, it's sort of Booster fighting, and they're like, yeah. Now, I didn't notice this when I read it, because it oddly enough reads really well, but that page is insane. The action and sort of all the different angles that it's coming from, and all the stuff that you could follow with it. I mean, it is super dynamic. And again, that's just, really good superhero storytelling, but like, the with a lot of panels, a lot of characters, and every page of this book has something like that.
Well,
it's pretty amazing.
Well, and they have to do multiple, like, not just one Legion of Superheroes, but I think there are at least two versions of the Legion plus the Justice League all in one issue. That is a lot of different costumes.
And it's I don't know that it's a small thing, but the bearing of this Time Trapper version, the way that he stands upright, but is gaunt. Like, he has a completely different.
The neck is always up, and it's just always
And it.
I mean, Josh, remember
so
Yasmin Pucci drew Dark Knights of Steel.
Okay.
And we loved the art in that. Like that.
Yeah.
She's really good.
Yep.
So that means Kean Torney did the Krypton flashback scenes.
Oh, I think he did the Lex Luthor scene.
What Lex Luthor scene?
The end. Oh, sorry. That's
I think you're.
Jesus. Yeah, no, I think you're talking. I think you're right. Yeah, I think he did the flashback stuff. I don't think we've ever talked about it on this show because we weren't reading the book, but and at the risk of being a stereotype, I mean, this is the worst Flash costume ever, right?
Okay, thank you. I'm so glad. I didn't want to pick. I didn't want to.
I was hoping it was some sort of multiversal Flash. And I was like, maybe that's one of the other ones.
He's been wearing in his book for the last however many years. This is his current
Flash costume.
This
is a rule. Flash costume shouldn't have black. Shouldn't.
No.
He's not the Black Racer.
No, he is the Technicolor ideal of
the Scarlet
costume.
Speedster. Not the Scarlet and Black Speedster.
The Barry Allen, like, I love Jay Garrick's look, but the original Barry Allen suit, all red with yellow, highlights,
boots, gloves,
and boots, was from 1955-ish to, whenever they finally changed. I mean, it lasted for decades for a reason. It's like one of the best superhero costumes. It's in its simplicity, it's perfect. This is just dumb. It's just dumb.
It looks like he looks like Scott Summers.
He's got knuckle things for his punching, I guess. For some reason, he's got gold wristbands. He's got this overly complicated design on his chest. Looks like an X. You're right.
Look at his swirly ear things.
He has a black Like it's
Yeah, he's
just
got like a snail on his head.
it's just really terrible.
It looks like he has sideburns and a goatee.
I don't know why. I
It's
just
really
don't
bad.
understand. There's a reason why these costumes lasted for decades until people.
And
started
you've
doing
got
that.
like Superman standing next to him in like a straight up Superman costume. Is like you're telling me that still works,
right.
but in fact they all. Yeah, it's really bad. You got
It's really,
straight
really bad.
up Aquaman. Batman's looking pretty traditional. Alan Scott, like everybody, and he's the guy. No, it's stupid.
Who's the tall blue guy? That was the one character I couldn't immediately pin.
That's not Blue Devil.
I didn't think Blue Devil is that big. The second to last.
Is he JSA like the genie guy?
Page 26 on your digital
Thunderbolt.
Yeah, 1 second. I close it. I got to.
No, because the Thunderbolt from JSA is pink.
Well, I don't know. Okay, hold on.
Etrigan's
tall
there.
blue guy. That looks. Yeah, that's. I think that's the genie.
Are there
he's
a couple
wearing
of
pink
them?
clothes. I think that's the genie because the
I don't know who
JSA
else
is
it
there.
would be, and he's standing over the JSA
Yeah.
people.
All right.
Yeah.
Is Etrigan in the JSA right now?
No.
What the hell's he doing there?
So like a Justice League Dark book going.
I don't know.
And
let's move on.
I'll tell you the real problem with this page. Look at Guy Gardner's fantastic haircut.
Where? Oh,
in between Supergirl and
yeah, he hasn't. He's had good hair for a while. They got rid of the
that's
bowl.
not
They
okay.
got rid of
I mean,
it.
Booster needs a shave and a haircut.
So
he looks.
we often talk about on the show that it's after so many decades, it's really, really hard to find new stories to tell, and the characters have been around for 80, 90 years, but I don't think I've ever read a story about Spider-Man like this in the Amazing Spider-Man 977-13. He's been in space. We've seen him go to space before. He's been in cosmic adventures, but this is like a straight up sci-fi Spider-Man in a version of the Guardians of the Galaxy story that I've never seen before. Certainly in a Spider-Man solo book.
So here's why I added this.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it, fine, whatever. But as I read through it, I was like, this is an amazing example of pacing and construction and structure, in that we're telling things over multiple times and going back and forth. We're introducing a team as we do it without even realizing we're doing it. All smooth as hell. All working flawlessly. All compelling. I was like, this is the guy who wrote that other story last month that I did not like, because this is
great.
This isn't one of those things where I'm going to be like, you're going to read it and be blown away by it. But the what's the word? The competency of being able to put together a comic book story like this. Once I realized sort of how he was doing it and just how flawlessly it was being executed, I was more impressed than anything else. I was like, this is so good from a construction standpoint, and just everything works. We go back, we see the thing that's happening with what's his name, the alien with the
evil alien, evil scientist.
Yeah.
As all scientists are clearly.
Xanto,
Starblood,
Dr. Xanto. And they're having that conversation, and then the one character speaks up and says something, and then we flash forward and we see that character doing something, and then somebody else shows up, and then we go back to them. It is time. It's so good. It was so well done, and
this was
like
the best
end of the
issue
day,
of his run. Yeah,
and at the end of the day, like, I'm fully into it, and Pepe Larraz just
so good,
killing it with all of these new characters. All the dialogue was, that's Rocket Raccoon. He's doing that thing. Who by the way also takes up a lot of air if you do it just right. Then I thought that, just to sort of finish it up, the conversation that Peter has with Dr. Xanto at the end, is
it was great,
compelling, and it was kind of a twist, but it makes sense.
Because
man,
Peter hasn't let up on the reason why he's in space in the first place, which is to become stronger, right? So we think, okay, he went through all of his stuff with Xanto before, and now he's trying to get home, but he's stuck in this cosmic adventure. But no, he's there to get better. And it's dark. They put him in shadow and darkness for a reason. Like, it's not a good thing that he's doing.
And there's a reason for him to have a new terrible costume.
Yeah, I loved the stoner guy in the photographer's jacket, who's just sort of like there. Like it's a fun group. The insecure like giantess with the giant weapon. They're all interesting characters and they're fun.
This is just like that Batman Outworld.
Yes,
Offworld that Jason Aaron did, except it's like that's suited to Batman's personality, and it's like this one is suited to Peter Parker, and like a modern Peter Parker too, like a confident guy. You know, he's got his doubts, he's whatever, but he's like, no, we have to do the right thing, and he's being a natural leader based on all of his experience and stuff like that. And I don't miss a single thing about being on Earth. Not a single thing. Like, let this go.
Yeah. I like how on the final page, Peter gets almost painted. Like
that was a really pretty shot.
It gets sort of impressionistic in a way. It's different from even the art and the rest of the page. It just changes completely, which tells you this is like a dramatic moment, which we'll come back to this later on in the show. This kind of art.
I think this probably would have been my pick of the week, but it wasn't like, oh man, I had so much fun reading it. I was just like, God damn, that is just solid work.
He's got chops.
Oh my God. No kidding.
All right, another quick break. We'll be back right after this. Skin Police 2, number 2. From Jordan Thomas and Daniel Getty. We did this last time. I can't make any more jokes about the name. I don't know how
Cheap to say it. Trick every time we say Skin Police, but it's the Dream Police. This is the Cheap Trick song. So,
yes, Skin Police. Talk about it, Ryan.
What's
that Ryan thought? He didn't talk about the first issue yet. What do you think about this so far?
I thought the opening vignette here was absolutely gorgeous, and beautiful. I really enjoyed it. And then the rest of the issue really moves the plot forward. I liked the twists and turns. I mean, I don't love to see a child kidnapping, but I like the way they handled it, and I liked that the kid was okay. So yeah, I'm still really enjoying this. Still think they're telling a really compelling sci-fi story with stakes. So yeah,
I think you're right. That first sequence was excellent. No words. Just saying, Jordan's been listening to this for a really long time, and we like stuff like that. So.
Jordan's really good at nonverbal storytelling.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that the artist is doing it, but he's writing what the artist is doing. He's pacing it out, and I think it's really good. Like the shot of the birds flying out of the trees to signify the gunshot was brilliant. That's something you see in films all the time, but it's hard to convey in comics. But
it was done really well. I've no.
The scene of the parents hugging on the white background, but there's like a splash around them, and like again, this is gonna this might sound artsy fartsy, but like I don't think that's meant to be the actual blood splatter of the kid's head, but it's like the impact this just had on their lives. Like they're like sitting in a crater of what has just happened.
And the birds sort of seem to symbolize that as well. Like it looks like stuff blasting out of the back of a head or something.
Even the dog was sad.
I just looked at it and I was like, oh. Here's my one thing. I'm gonna ding somebody who I know to be childless. You would not notice a note tucked into the back of your kid's pants. You would notice it immediately
because you would be holding them that close.
You would, and you would feel it, and you would check them all over to make sure they were okay.
You would not wait until you got home to strip them down and look over everything.
Nope, there's no way in hell.
Yeah.
And that really did, because I was like, no way you don't notice that. I know it. Another thing I noticed is, and that whatever, that doesn't matter. One of the things I noticed is at the end, there's they take away the person and they say, oh, it's Campos, and I was like, I don't know who anyone is. But what I did was I flipped back to earlier to figure it out, and those people were named, and then I was like, oh, okay, that is them. Like the information was there for me to find because it had been done correctly, but it's more because I forgot, but it was there. Sometimes they'll do something like that, and there's nothing.
Right. I find myself really liking the scenes more than the overall story here, where the dupes and the fight for dupe rights and what happens to the dupes if they burst, like all that stuff. I'm starting to lose a little bit of the thread on or my understanding of what's important and what's not. But I really like the characters and the scenes, like when they, this sort of freedom fighter kid that they arrest, and like all this stuff, all the dialogue is great. And then all of the sequences that happen individually are great. It's just on the whole, like I end up liking the pieces more than like the wholes when I think of saying skin please. I just lost the thread of what's important and what means something, and it's more of like I'm just living in this world than I am following like a mystery. For me. Personally.
I think it'll come back. I think it'll come together. I think because we spent a lot of time with this, and now we're going in the other way.
I don't ever want to get both my ankles shot through simultaneously.
I mean, no, not at all. Not even a little bit.
No,
I don't even want one ankle shot through.
I do find it's really interesting how
the whole situation.
I think it happened in both issues where someone gets concussed and they try to like visualize what feeling concussed would look like in comic book form, where it's kind of like it almost looks like a topo heat map of what the person is sensing around them as they come back to.
It's good. I like it. It's just the overall sort of the I don't know, what do you want to call it? The story is I'm still losing a little bit of the details of it. It's not a story because I like the scenes and the characters. It's more like the I don't say mythology.
I mean, the other thing is though, we're just coming out. This is like the second issue back from a multiple month hiatus in the middle of it, so it makes sense. I kind of feel like that on a lot of books, so yeah. I give people the benefit of the doubt, but
things got I might put this in the wrong order. All right. Spider-Man Noir #1, not in the script. Eric Larson, Andrea Broccato. So interesting that this came out. Did anybody else read this but me?
Yes,
I did.
You did, Josh?
Yeah.
So
interesting that this came out at the same time as the Batman, both books taking place in I think 1939. But the Batman feels like it's in the 30s, where this feels like a book.
A multiversal version of the 30s that is not like our 30s.
In the 30s, but doesn't feel like the 30s whatsoever. Now, that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. This is Eric Larson on writing, which is, I haven't read a book.
That was really interesting. That's actually why I decided to read it.
I found myself really disappointed that they didn't lean into the noir of it. It's Spider-Man Noir. Like, I would have had a black and white. I would have had an artist. And I'm sure Broccato is a good artist, but it's a very standard Marvel style. This book doesn't feel any different. I think the thing is like the Batman feels different. It looks like the 30s, but it feels different. This just feels like every other Marvel book.
I'll give you that.
I would have gone for an artist who's like works a lot in shadow and heavy. I would have drawn it like a noir book.
This artist looks like an artist you would put on a Winter Soldier miniseries.
Right.
That's what this art looks like. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I think the first, 11 pages is a fight. And it's full of like semi-noir quipping. Mm-hmm. And I think a little bit of that to introduce it may have been good. But ultimately, it was too long. It was way too long of something that had nothing to do with the plot in a new story. And I think you can get away with that if you're Eric Larson in several ways, but especially like his own book. But as a #1, like I didn't understand the stakes of who these people were. And I was just like, why are we fighting so long and being so quippy in what is not a great Raymond Chandler? Like it's not.
Yeah. And I once we left that fight and we went to his office, and we see how he's financially fucked, and then as with all great PI noir stories, the beautiful woman walks in. In this case, it's Gwen Stacy. That's when for me the story picked up. Mm-hmm. But then also for me, where I was like, this just looks. It doesn't feel any different than any other real Marvel book, and that's where I really started thinking about the art. And in fact, that the Batman's got this unique style that looks like it's in the 30s. And then again, like this book is so goddamn bright. I mean, look at the color. It's like everything is not only it's like Klieg lights all the time in this book, and it's called Spider-Man Noir. Put some shadows in here. I mean,
yeah, I think you're right.
His office is way too bright. I'm not knocking Michelle Rosenberg, but it's just. Even when they're in the morgue, it's like really brightly lit. It's just a bizarre artistic choice to make this. I mean, look at the scene with Aunt May. Like, they're basically the house is on fire. That's how bright it is. It's just weird.
You're not wrong.
Which not to say I like this fine. I'll probably read the next issue. But
Did either of you?
it's weird. I think this is force shooting. I think.
Did either of you? I at least tried the opening fight sequence when it's mostly captions, but before the quipping starts, to hear Nick Cage in my head while reading.
That's
this.
what I started to hear, and very quickly I was like, well, "It's not that." And then they showed him when they showed him as Peter Parker. I was like, "Well, that's definitely not that character," which is fine. You don't have to do that, but
yeah.
And I've not read everything Spider-Man Noir has ever been in. How does a spider become irradiated before there's any atomic power or radioactive isotope?
Just try not to worry about it. That's my
the glow in the dark paint factory.
Oh, okay, Radium Girls. I like that answer.
Isotopes.
Because it also
My
just doesn't.
11-year-old is reading the Radium Girls unabridged book.
Oh, cool.
He chose to for some reason, and it's pretty slow going, but he's reading a straight up history book, and I was like, awesome.
I wonder if that also explains why this Spider-Man doesn't seem as powerful as
maybe
a modern
Could
Spider-Man.
Be. He may not have the
like
proportional
that.
strength of a spider. He just has guns. Let's talk about how things get serious.
You just want a no prize.
In Huck, Big Bad World #5, the second to last issue of this miniseries, in which everyone we've been following along gets murdered except for Huck and his girlfriend. I thought this was good. Even if for a second I didn't know who all the people were that were being killed. I was like, wait, was that the person? And I was like, oh, that's everyone from before.
I mean, I have to give them credit. I didn't want everyone to be killed from before, but that is kind of the point of drama. Right. You have to, raise the stakes and change everything, and that is what happened. So it's up to Miller to execute from this point out. I do think it was a good way to show us Huck's power, his significance, his, whatever's happening there, where there's some sort of force field thing. I think it's it was all, it was pretty textbook in terms of change everything that you think move everything off the table and turn the tables on everything. And it was like 6 metaphors.
I liked it though. You mashed them all together.
Yeah.
So here the billionaires have been keeping them Superman down. They've got a special army that finds anyone who's born with superpowers and kills them, and so therefore they can stay in power.
Very similar to Absolute Evil.
All the richest men in the Ultimates, like all the richest men in the world, have this secret army, and they've hired this dude who I feel like I'm supposed to know who he is. Is he from a different book? Because it says this event, the story takes place before the events of Big Game, and I was like, wait, did I read that one? I think I did.
I kind of remember that.
But anyway, I regardless of all those things, it wasn't important. I did enjoy the story, and I thought, this lives in kind of the two Marks. There's two Mark Millers in all of us. There's the super hyper violent, Mark Miller, and then there's the sweet, sort of sentimental Mark Miller. And the best books we've liked have been mostly in the sweet, sentimental Mark side, which is Huck was one of them. But this has shades of both, and it works well together.
And I know that this isn't who Mark Miller is, and so you wouldn't do it this way, but I would have liked some more road adventures of Huck going around helping people.
Right.
I could have done with that for a little while, but that's Hellboy. That's not this. It's a different kind of deal.
Right.
It's not my favorite Raphael Albuquerque.
It hasn't been, and I think it's a switch to digital. I think it's just his art doesn't look the same.
I don't know. It's not. I don't have a problem with it. It just doesn't there was a time where that dude seemed magical, and this doesn't seem as magical. And I can't put my finger on it.
I'm going to take this next part because you're going to talk after that by yourself, and so don't want you to pass out.
Okay.
iFanboy's listener supported. So if you've enjoyed this show or all of our shows, our 997 episodes, our other shows are over 1,400 shows in total we've done. You can help us out. We do appreciate that. But the show comes out for you, the listener or the viewer, because of the listener support or the viewer support. We got to change this now because there's viewers now. Patreon.com/iFanboy is the main way to support the show. You can do it directly. You become part of a great community on Discord and Facebook. You vote for the Patron Pick. You get a Patron Power live in the show. You can join the monthly Patron Hangouts we have. And at $10 or higher, you get an ad-free version of all of our shows. Plus, you get the Pick of the Week show, this one, a day early on Saturday. Plus, you get access to the iFanboy after show on Sundays, where we talk about all the books we didn't talk about on this show. And it's fun. The communities are great. Josh and I are always popping into the Discord, chatting with everybody. We have a good time. There's a discount if you sign up for 1 year all at once. and you can send and receive gift memberships. So if you've got someone special in your life, we've had several people send gift memberships to people. Patreon.com/iFanboy/gift for more info. And again, this is the main way of people support the show, and we wouldn't be able to do it without the support. There's also other ways to support the show. iFanboy.threadless.com is our merchandise store. We have lots of t-shirts, but we have lots of other things too, but most people buy t-shirts. But there's designs there. You can get them on shirts, on mugs, on stickers, on skateboard decks, on welcome mats, on shower curtains, all kinds of things.
Keep going.
That's all I can think of. iFanboy.threadless.com, but they're all there, and it's great. And we love everyone who has them. I have several shirts. We love seeing photos of people wearing the shirts. And thank you everyone who buys stuff from there. iFanboy.com/support. That's our direct donation via PayPal link. That's if you're a billionaire who's keeping Superman down and feel guilty about it. Feel free to throw us some money to assuage any guilt you may feel. We will gladly take your pain. iFanboy.com/Amazon is our shopping link. If you're going to shop there, consider doing through that link. And finally, bookshop.org is our partner to help support local bookstores. We have those links available on the Booksplode posts. And if you shop through there, a local bookstore will fulfill your order, and it'll help them out, keep them in business. And we need local bookstores. It's a very important thing. So thanks to all the people who support the show. That's how these shows keep coming out. That's how we afford all this stuff. That's how we can afford to take the time to do it. And we appreciate you very much. All the support we get. Let's keep going.
Here's what I would suggest. In the old days,
yeah,
we would say to tell your mom about the show, right?
Right.
We don't do that anymore.
No.
You should get your mom a gift Patreon membership. And then, here's the benefit.
Mother's Day gift.
Here's the benefit to you, and I want to make this absolutely clear. If you really want something to be the patron pick, you got a secret vote there. You said, Mom,
second vote.
Yeah, get on there. You're doubling your voting power.
We have a couple that are both patrons, and they always vote together. They're a block, and it always helps move the needle a little bit. So yeah. Let's
you're saying eventually there'll be political parties within the iFanboy page.
There kind of is. There's a Facebook party and there's a Discord party.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a great idea for this Mother's Day. Gift your mom the gift of iFanboy.
Yeah.
And see how that goes.
Any of the holidays between now and 9 months from now.
And tell us how it goes. Tell us about the conversation you have about it.
Yeah. But the most important thing is the money.
Let's talk about Rook Exodus, Josh.
Rook Exodus number 7, the book. This was one of those books that took a little break and it's come back. This is the first time after a little while.
You love this book.
Well, here's my story with this book is that this is Jeff Johns written, Jason Fabok, of course, Brad Anderson and Rob Lee, because Jeff Johns brought in all his favorite DC people to work on these books. And for all intents and purposes, I shouldn't like this at all.
No.
And weird. For the first couple of issues, I was like, I don't know why I keep reading this. And then at a certain point, I was like, I'm just going with it because the sum of something's parts don't always add up, or however that goes. And like Fabok was not a favorite artist of mine, and certainly not in the context of doing that in like Batman, where he was working a lot of time. But just like we talked about David Finch last week, you sort of take them out of that context, you have them do something else. This is a big, dumb, silly book. It's like an 80s afternoon cartoon, Silverhawks kind of thing, where there's a different kind of, everybody's got a different kind of animal head, and like if I thought there was any chance that we're going to really make action figures of this, they would be all set to do it. There's the old turtle man, there's the wolf guy. Right. I mean, like the main bad guy is a giant bear dude with a chainsaw. His name is Ursaw. But it's not played like a silly cartoon. It's like a world on the edge of collapse and everybody's fighting each other. It's totally overwrought and dramatic. I think that the art is perfect for it. And again, I don't know why I like it, but I do. Like unequivocally. I'm just like, all right, it's another one of these now. And by the time I get to the end of the first arc, I was like, all right, let's go. I'm not going to tell you this is the greatest book in the world. You people need to be checking it out. It is not that.
How does it compare in the other Ghost Machine books like Red Code and Geiger? And
it's entirely dissimilar from them. It's maybe a little like Geiger, but Geiger's very like, it's grounded sort of in a world that we kind of understand, and it's connected to things. And This is like a whole other thing. I mean, there's the range that Jeff Johns is showing between all of these books. And if you look at that list of books that they're putting, it's amazing.
Yeah.
That he is running this whole line. It is a shit ton of work, and each of them is pretty. You might not love all of them, but none of them are half-assed. You know, it's not like, oh, this is the one he's not paying attention to. There is not one like that. It's crazy.
So those are the books we're going to talk about, but at patreon.com/iFanboy, every patron of the show that we just mentioned has a vote, and they get to add a book to the rundown. They vote on it. It's called the Patron Pick. And this week it was a close one. There was several books all within one vote of each other, or 2 votes of each other. And the winner was G.I. Joe Cold Slither #1 from Image Comics and Skybound, written by Tim Seeley with art by Juan Cabal, colors by Rex Locus, and letters by Pat Brousseau. I'm pretty sure, because again, there was no credits page. So, Cold Slither. What's funny, Josh, was and we're going to get to you, Ryan, in a second, because you've got no context for this, I'm sure.
No.
I was starting to read
Ryan,
this.
you have no idea about. So if we say Cold Slither, you don't hear the song in your head.
Do not. Yeah, well, I was confused when you texted about it earlier.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so I started reading this, Josh, and I was like 2 pages in, and I was trying to figure out which continuity this was in. Was it in the a Real American Hero continuity, or was it in the new Josh Williamson, Energon continuity? It's in neither. It's in the cartoon continuity, and I figured that out, and I was like, "Oh, that's awesome!" And then
That's the best way to go.
yeah, which allowed for things for me to let things go, like the fact that they gave Snake Eyes the wrong hair color, or they gave CoverGirl the wrong hair color. I let it all go because the cartoon was Wild West in terms of continuity.
I mean, episode to episode,
Right.
the art was all over the place. I don't know if art's the right word. I mean, it is the thing that does not need to be in any form.
I feel like Tim Seeley had an idea, and he pitched it, and they went, "That sounds fun," because this is basically behind the music, Cold Slither.
Yeah.
For all those people who are our age and watched behind the music in the 90s. It's documentary style of this is reporter going around telling the story of this band,
Ramirez.
Cold Slither, that was like the biggest band in the world 20 years ago, before the takeover of the world by Cobra. Behind the scenes story of the band and how they helped take over the world and where they are now, and they're all older and they're all have other jobs, and this was fun.
I think it was fun. I think I went back and forth between sort of being charmed by it and being like, I don't know if I need this. But ultimately, as sort of a one-issue lark that remains very silly. And like you said, I didn't really put together that it was in the cartoon continuity, but that makes the most sense. And I did like just the big moves of, they had this one song and they took over the whole world, and that's how G.I. Joe won. And also just like
Cobra
the fact
won.
that no, but at the end, G.I. Joe was like, well, we'll do our own song.
Right,
And they even
right.
referred to the fact that they had put out a terrible song earlier, which they did, because they kicked Cold Slither off the stage and then they played their terrible song.
Yeah.
It was very. How do you not enjoy something like that? I liked too that. I think the best part was that the Dreadnoks themselves are extremely one-dimensional characters. They are designed that way. They're not supposed to be anything, and they remain that here. But where he took them was funny. I think that Ripper is. He married a groupie, and now his life's boring and awful. Torch is still doing like wedding gigs, and I did not know, and I assume that this is in continuity, and I hope it is the case that Buzzer was an academic before
he was.
becoming. Yeah,
remember
I didn't remember that at all.
He went to study biker gangs or something, and then he got caught up in the lifestyle and decided to drop out and become one himself. That was part of his character arc. Yeah. And
then Zartan's all weird.
The hair was strange. What was happening?
Well, he has no actual identity, which was the thing I thought.
Right, but they give him a perm. He's got
I thought that was Billy.
Well, Billy didn't exist in the cartoon. Well, you didn't realize it's a cartoon. I thought this was fun. I just thought it was a silly, fun thing. It's sort of, I don't say out of continuity is so dumb, but it just was this silly thing that they just did. And I thought it was enjoyable. Cold Slither it's like a cult classic thing from the cartoon from G.I. Joe, and having a little nod to it was nice.
I will say, art not great.
Oh, really? I liked it a lot.
look at the picture. Look at the page, the double page spread where the Joes are like running back in with their song. Like they all are looking down at exactly the same angle. Like it's so, that looks so phoned in to me. It's supposed to be like the big double page spread of the Joes, and it's just.
It is weird. They're all looking at the same angle down.
Yeah,
that is very strange. But other than that, I liked it.
I mean, it's fine. It did the job. It wasn't like awful, but sorry, this was the one thing I bumped on it in the middle of it. The reporter goes to talk to Buzzer, and Buzzer picks up his little like his like pointer thing, and then for some reason he swings it at the guy who does an amazing 10-foot split in the air. And I was like, wait, is that the reporter?
Yeah,
I don't know why that happened or what it was for, but
because it was the reporter was secretly Lady J.
Oh, I think really?
Yeah, the reporter was not real. The reporter was Lady J undercover.
I knew that she wasn't real, but I don't think that I knew the reporter wasn't real, but I don't think I remembered that. Oh, see, I got confused because at the end there's another Hector who comes out, and I was like, wait, are they supposed to be Tomax and Zaymot? And listen, I didn't care enough to really look into it. I was like, that's weird.
Well, the reporter was Lady J pretending to be the reporter, and so
I see.
That's why there's a second Hector, because she was undercover as.
I missed that.
Yeah. I know I did the same thing when he jumped. I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, wait, I actually went back. I was like, did I miss something? So you can see here, they're all walking towards the camera, and that's Scarlet and Stalker and Covergirl with the reporter. And then the next page is Lady J's taking the guy's spot. So she has that necklace that makes her look like the reporter.
I see.
And so
I feel like these should be.
You can see here she's, turning back into Lady J in that next panel. So yeah, I don't know. That's fun. Ryan, without any context, was this gobbledygook to you?
Yes, this was as close as we've come since you were doing the G.I. Joe episode reviews back during the pandemic. And I remember there was one time where I was like, well, they're on YouTube, so I should go watch this episode before listening to them discuss it. And I used to watch the G.I. Joe cartoon as a kid, and I tried to get through one of those episodes as a modern adult, and I was just like, this is...
Oh, careful, Josh. You're going to jump to the screen and strangle you.
So this was gobbledygook.
And I totally understand that, because like I was watching through the shows at some point. I didn't quite finish. But like at a certain point, I'd like Lindsay would be like, I'm gonna go to bed, and I'd be like, click, and I put it on, and I'd be like, I'd just be enjoying the hell out of it, and then I'd be like, oh, there's just nothing here for you, just nothing at all. Like if it's not, I enjoy I never once got tired of it. It's like, oh, this didn't hold up well. Nope, it's none of that. It's fantastic. I'm not objective. I can't tell you, if it's good or bad or what. It's bad, whatever. I don't care. Whatever.
So,
should we even have Ryan vote? Ryan, I want to know what you're going to...
I would abstain if I could.
No, you have to give a number.
No, you have to vote on it as a comic that you read.
Then I would just do 2.5, just straight down the middle like this. I don't think it was bad, but it meant nothing.
But even if you didn't have the context for it, the story that it tells didn't.
The story did not connect with me. I'm not I'm not the biggest into band stories. I'm not the biggest into that era of music. Yeah, I agree more with Josh that I didn't really love the art. So I like Tim Seeley, but this was...
It didn't work for you. That's fine.
Did not work.
All right, so ratings. Ryan's doing 2.5 out of 5. I'm going to do... I feel kind of like Josh last week. I think I'm just going to give it a 5 and move on.
Wow, you're there.
Yeah, I loved it.
That means it's your pick of the week.
No, I can give multiple 5s in a week.
I'm doing 3.5.
Interesting.
I mean, I had fun with it or whatever, but I don't need it. Also, not really one of my favorite episodes. I'm a little annoyed. I've had the song in my head for 3 days. So when they released those classified figures, I was just see this, and I was like, I don't want that. I don't want those.
So we skipped the other two questions we usually do first, which is, were you going to read this if it wasn't a patron pick? And I did.
Before
it was a patron pick. Ryan was
not going to.
And there's no reason to ask if we're sticking with it, because there's no more nothing to stick with. It's just a one shot. Patreon.com/iFanboy. Every page gets the vote to add a book to the rundown.
This would be like one of those books that like I would have to. It's like you with Batman. I was like, I guess I have to keep reading this as long as they're publishing it, whether I liked it or not. I would keep reading it.
I mean, that's actually not a bad idea to do a book set in the animated series. Then you can have all 3 continuities coming
They
out.
did. They did that Saturday Morning Adventures.
Right, but like an
It was
ongoing.
great. I know.
An ongoing one. Do it. Come on.
That was back in the IDW days.
If you're a patron at the $5 or higher level, you get a patron power live on the show. And this week, Ryan's got the honors.
Yes, and it's going to Derek Campbell. And Derek has the power to transform any type of cooked egg into any other type of cooked egg.
Okay.
Like, it's the dumbest thing I've never thought of or heard. It's just, I was like, wow, I don't even know what to do with that. All right, so say that I can't cook eggs because I don't eat eggs, and so I don't know if I'm doing a good job or not. So if you make it like badly, say you're doing like not a scrambled egg, but the other thing when I don't even know.
Fried
and
egg.
you overcook it too much, which kind of
Yeah.
ruins it or whatever, and you turn it into the different type of egg. Is that one also overcooked?
No, because that's the entire thing with eggs. It's like it's sunny side up or over easy or over medium, or
over
hard.
hard.
So any way you could order it at a diner at the Cracker Barrel, he can transform it into any other thing you could order, competently cooked.
So that really is just, it's an all egg pass. Really, everywhere you can just order.
Egg master.
He can hold his hand out
eggs.
over scrambled eggs, and if it was a
Right.
3-egg scramble, he could have 3 hard-boiled eggs, pick them up, and walk away.
What
Oh,
about the
that's-
weird non-egg
Ooh.
that is like an egg McMuffin? Can he turn that into like eggs Benedict?
No, I think it has to be real crack. Somebody had to crack
Okay.
a chicken egg in at some point.
Okay, so
Is
none
it
of
is it just the cooked, or like Josh said, could he turn a scrambled egg into egg Benedict with the sauce? Is it, or is it just
No,
I see what you're saying.
He could turn scrambled eggs into a poached egg to
Right.
go
just
on
the
an egg
cooking method. You got the same ingredients, so basically,
Mhm.
if you got your salt and pepper, that's
Yep.
good.
All
Yeah,
right.
so like he couldn't like manifest a Scotch egg, but he could turn, if he had a Scotch egg with a soft boiled egg inside of it, he could turn that into scrambled eggs inside the Scotch egg.
Can he turn a chicken egg into a quail egg?
I thought about that as an option. I think it's if it's one of those like pizzas, you know, I don't know if you ever get a pizza with like a little quail egg on it or something like that. Well, anyway, he could, if it's a different type of egg, he can still transform it. It doesn't change the type of egg it is. So if it's like the Halle Berry Birds of Prey scene where it's a duck egg, you know, bacon, egg, and cheese, like he could change that into a different type of duck egg cookery.
Right.
but-
You know, I think that makes sense. You shouldn't be able to change the species of the egg.
Right. So I love the idea of him getting his hands on an ostrich egg and what could happen.
So you think he would go in like to any restaurant and just always order with like the cheapest version? Like it doesn't really like.
I don't think most places give you an upcharge for the way you get. I mean, it's usually 2
I don't
eggs
know.
any style, right?
Yeah,
So it's,
yeah.
you
I
know,
guess.
The only upcharge is for the amount of eggs.
So I guess whatever's
Yeah, way they're cooked.
quickest.
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Just bring me a. Could he just take a raw egg and then?
Good question.
I don't think
cook
so. I think the egg has to be cooked already.
Hmm.
I don't think you can take it back to complete rawness because you can't really eat raw eggs. Like I guess you can.
Yeah, you
drop
can.
them.
People do all the time.
Then yes,
Protein.
raw eggs are on the table. Then.
So he
can't-
could just be like, bring me a plate of raw eggs.
Well, I did say cooked eggs.
No, it has to be cooked because it's
I did say
transfiguring the form of cookedness.
Yes.
You can't just cook.
I think it should be cooked.
And he couldn't turn like scrambled eggs into like custard because that's you're adding other ingredients. You know, it has to be like
Yeah.
ways that
So like
eggs are
French
cooked.
toast is already, he's ruined it
Yes.
for eggs.
Okay.
Yes.
Derek, you're the egg master, and thank you very much for being
Cuckoo Kajube.
Patreon.com/iFanboy. We are late, but this question's been sitting in our mailbox for a long time, and I really want to do it because I feel bad. So we're going to answer Kirk's question. Kirk J from the Comic Book Club says, "I've been thinking about this question for a few days when I realized we need your help for a couple of our upcoming Comic Book Club meetings." Now I feel terrible because this email came in a while ago, so I think we missed the deadline, but we're still going to do it. Kirk says, "Our Comic Book Club is doing rounds of single issue picks to read in one meeting by each of the 4 members, 4 single issues a meeting, and we were doing 3 different meetings. So we need a total of 12 issues. The internet is not as helpful as one might think for this topic. We need your help to find worthwhile single issues to enjoy in our club. What are some single issues?" This is his question. I don't know why I read that in that tone. What are some single issues, oversized annuals are all okay, that you consider the best? Now he says, and for Josh, which issue of Assorted Crisis Events would you pick, 4 or 5? I'm considering one of these for my third round. The club prefers we do blind picks, so I haven't read anything from this series. Some additional context. We've done one round already with the following picks. Marvel 2-1 Annual number 7 by Tom DeFalco. The Thing has a boxing match against the champion. Transmetropolitan number 8, Warren Ellis. This worked really well, even for members that have never read the whole run. Silver Surfer 12 from Dan Slott from Volume 1. The Enigma of a Magara Fault from Junji Ito manga. I've already picked for round 2, Crazy from Warren Ellis. For round 3, if the Assorted Crisis Events ask isn't determined, I'm considering one of the following: Jonah Hex 26 or 33 or 50 from Graham Palmiotti.
Those must be the Darwin issues.
50 is definitely Darwin.
I'm guessing the others.
Yeah. We are aware of some of the classic single issues like Superman Annual 11 for the Man That Does Everything and Uncanny X-Men 205 from Chris Claremont. So, Josh, first question: which of the Assorted Crisis events would you pick, 4 or 5?
4 was the one.
5 was the one I picked, I think.
Right. So it's 4 because that was the one about the migrant farmer working in the meat processing plant, which was one of the greatest single issues I've read in a long time. So 4.
So you would recommend 4. Okay.
Yeah.
So we can't give him 12 issues. And also
I mean, like, this list is for people who either have a computer handy or a much better memory than I do. Like, so a lot of these, it's difficult.
I have 3 that I came up with.
Go. Your young and pliable brain, go for it.
Watchmen number 4, which is it's 1956. I'm in the Gila Flats. It's 1986. Right. I'm on Mars. That issue.
What's the title? Those all have really good titles.
Watchmaker is the title.
Okay, yeah.
So it's the Dr. Manhattan origin story, but it's also the one where he's existing in all the different places simultaneously. And I just think, in terms of the poetry of that book, of that whole entire collected series, that issue always stands out to me. Of just like, when I hit that issue, anytime I do a reread, that's the one where I'm like, God damn, this is like some craft storytelling. And I think it would stand alone. I've never read it as a standalone. Mm-hmm. The other thought I had was Astro City number 1, In My Dreams I Can Fly. I think
any Astro City from the first couple of volumes.
First couple of volumes are a lot of standalone issues, but to me, the one that still in my mind when I think of Astro City, I think of that issue with the Samaritan. And then the other one that I came up with was the scalped issue with the couple where the jet
27.
I don't think it was scalped 27. That was the one
I think it was.
I don't. It's the one with the Lakota couple, and the big jet crashes on their property. I don't remember it very well, but I remember as a single issue that really.
It's not 27.
A series. I thought that was good.
Connor's working on it. He's going to find it. Tell you which scalloped issue that was.
If there was, I mean, to me, it's not one of like the most important issues to me, but I know it's a powerful standalone issue. Where there's when the Fantastic Four go meet Jack Kirby in heaven.
I would say Action Comics.
Scalp 35.
Yeah, 35.
Your 35 is the issue you're talking about. Scalp 35.
So Action Comics number 775. What's so funny about Truth, Justice, and the American Way?
Oh, good one.
Joe Kelly.
Yep. Doug Monkey.
That's a good one.
Tough.
I've got 2. I think.
Go ahead.
The first one, The Brave and the Bold 33. From J. Michael Straczynski's run on the book. Josh shockingly made it his pick of the week, I'm pretty sure, when it came out. This is the one-shot issue where with dealing with Barbara Gordon before the Killing Joke, and I won't spoil it any more than that. I guess that was just a spoiler. And then this is an older one, but it's one of the ones I loved as a kid, and it's a giant-sized annual, as you mentioned. The Avengers Annual number 16. It's from 1990. I can't say the date, but it's a one-shot annual story where the Avengers have to fight a bunch of Marvel's characters who had died. So they have to fight Bucky and they have to fight Captain Marvel. It's all put together by the game's master, and it's got a fun, clever ending and terrific. I loved it as a kid. I've read it probably 100 times. It's a great one. So the Avengers Annual 16. Why is there no date on here?
And 1980.
Is it 80s? 1987. Wow, didn't think it was that old. But yeah, it's a great issue. It's the creative team is Tom DeFalco. There you go, and art by Bob Hall, John Romita Jr., Marshall Rogers, Jackson Guise, Ron Friends. It's like Bill Sienkiewicz does inks on it. Kevin Nolan does inks on it. Bob Wiak, Al Williamson, Tom Palmer. It's like a murderer's row. It's a really good issue.
And for me, I feel like the single, like sort of like you, Connor, the single issues that I remember really well are the ones that because I only had a couple as a kid and I just read them over and over again.
Yep.
So I don't think they're standalone or that important to anyone else, but they're important to me. And then like the other type of single issue that I could read just that issue and have a big reaction to it is like the end of a big story arc. So like I could read the final issue of Y the Last Man without rereading the entire series and get something out of it. But I don't think for a book club, you want to spoil that entire series by reading the final ending. So
Josh, you had more?
Sandman number 13. That is the Hob Gadling issue, where Hob Gadling is becomes the eternal living man, and every 100 years he meets with his friend Dream.
The best episode of the show was that.
Yeah, easily. But that's the first thing I actually thought of and remembered. It gets a little harder after that because I know that there are great single issues within stuff I've read, but boy,
anything from Preacher, Josh?
I was thinking about it, but I don't I think of them in storylines. I don't, it's hard. And I think that because of the way that those characters develop over time, it's good. I'm trying to remember what issue it is, but Warren Ellis famously did an issue of Hellblazer about a school shooting. And it was like a big deal at the time. The episode issue's called Shoot. It was Hellblazer 141. It's illustrated by Phil Jimenez and Andy Lanning. Andy Lanning's a fantastic inker, by the way. Yeah. There's a trade of just some Warren Ellis Hellblazer stories and they're all fantastic. It's a great issue. And I think, unfortunately, 1999, so this is done right after Columbine. Right. It's still going to be relevant, but it was really good. I have mentioned at least 2 writers who have been canceled, and I don't.
Did they pulp that comic?
Maybe. I don't.
I think they might have.
I think they might have, because it was written before Columbine, and then Columbine happened in the intervening time between when the issue was produced and when it would have been published.
I just have that memory in the back of my head. Maybe they didn't. Maybe
you're right.
I'll give 2 last ones. These are. Well, no, one's modern, one's not. If you want to go kind of fun and funny and start a seminal, Justice League International number 7, I believe it was International at that point. That's so the first 6 issues was kind of one story, and then with 7 they branched out from Justice League to Justice League International, and they added a bunch of people. And that was a really fun issue. It's one of my favorites. And then if you want to go modern, super modern, go Batman number 1. We just talked about last month, Matt Fraction and Jorge Jimenez. It's a great single issue, but also a nice kickoff to a new era. So we didn't give you 12, but we gave you a good amount.
I'm gonna give you 2 more.
Oh,
one of them just shot out of my head. Animal Man number 5.
From the new 52.
Nope. No,
from the Grant Morrison run.
Like Grant Morrison.
Oh, okay.
Trogan Hazelwood. That's a really big deal issue. And then the other one would be, and this is a dealer's choice, any single issue of Usagi Yojimbo. Any single issue of Usagi Yojimbo.
Just pick one.
Yep.
He's been doing arcs though lately, but I guess it doesn't matter.
They always are, but it doesn't matter. There's just dudes on the road. Here's what happened this day.
Right.
Is All-Star Superman number 6 is with Paul Kent?
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember the breakdown.
I figure there's got to be a Starman issue, but I can't remember what it is.
Or an issue of New Frontier, or
I was thinking about that too.
An issue of Darwin Cook's The Spirit. Any issue of those will do. Yeah. We give you some ideas. Hopefully the club is still happening, and you're still.
And I'm trying not to be like, here's number 1s.
Right. Sure. Well, I mean, they already had the boxing match, the thing against the champion, but there's always Superman and Muhammad Ali.
That's not a single issue, though. It's
Is it not? I thought. I mean, you said you could do like an anthology or a one shot.
It's like an OGN.
Okay.
What is the issue with the Flash in New Frontier where he has to go around Vegas finding all the bombs? I think that's like issue 2 or 3.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
God, that book's so good. All right,
It's so good.
Thanks for writing, Kirk. I apologize that we didn't get to your email sooner. Hopefully, this still helps a little bit. We want to hear from you. Contact@ifanboy.com is how you can write in and get on the show. Thanks for doing so. And if you want to write in and get our Media Explode show, put Media Explode in the subject line. We appreciate that. And now,
Preacher, the Vietnam flashback. I have it.
Okay. Josh is now his brain is kicked in, and he will not be able to not think about this until he talks about it. Here he is back with what issue number is that?
Preacher number 18.
Okay, Preacher number 18.
Preacher number 18. Jesse meets a guy who fought with his dad in the war.
There we go.
Yeah.
This coming week, we've got our new Media Explode show for October. I don't know what we're talking about. We're recording it fairly soon, and I don't think we have a subject or topic, but we'll figure it out before then. We always do. Look for that on the feed coming up soon. In 2 weeks, we're going to have our Booksplode review of Spectators by Brian K. Vaughan and Nico Henrichon. That's going to come out in 2 weeks. And then in 3 weeks, there's supposed to be a Talksplode. We'll find out when we get closer if that's going to happen or not. Also in 3 weeks, Pick the Week episode 1000. We'll be streaming the show live October 24th on youtube.com/ifanboy. The show will begin, the main show, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on youtube.com/ifanboy. But we'll start the stream about a half an hour early at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. And so that you have something to watch, we're going to work on a special little thing for you to watch during that time. But you want to get there early so you're ready to go when the show starts promptly at 9 p.m., 6 p.m. We'll be talking about the pick of the week. We'll be talking about the patron pick. Then we'll be answering your emails for the rest of the time, for as long as we can take it. We have special guests. 8 bookings. I think there are various forms of confirmed. We need to reconfirm them. We confirmed them once. We should probably reconfirm them since it's been a while. So we'll figure that out. But right now we've got 10 total people who appear on the show. So keep that in your mind when you send your emails in. Send your emails into contact@ifanboy.com. Put subject line 1000 and any question. Ask about the show, the history, questions you've always had. Ask about the comics industry, characters, science, anything you want. Ask us anything. That's the only rule for the anniversary show. So thanks for writing them in. Keep emails coming. We got tons. We got more than we can do on the show right now, but more questions is always better. So thanks for that. And finally, you can find our library of a whole bunch of shows over at ifanboy.com and wherever podcasts are sold. And never miss a show. Find out what the pick of the week is before the show comes out by following us at iFanboy Comics on Instagram and Threads, and ifanboy.com on Blue Sky. And individually, we are CS Kilpatrick on Instagram, J.A. Flanagan on Instagram, Ryan Haupt on Instagram. And don't miss our former iFanboy writer, Jeff Reed's video deep dives into comic book minutia. You can find that on our social feeds and on YouTube every Tuesday and Friday.
I'm enraptured by this issue of Preacher. I'm just look at the back of it. There's an ad for Alice in Chains Unplugged available at all Sam Goody and Musicland stores. And also you can get Heat on pay-per-view.
Great. Let's go.
Need me to do this next part?
Ryan, you do the next part.
I got it. Consider writing us a review or leaving a star rating on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever it is you get your podcasts. If you're listening on Pocket Cast, I literally don't know what Pocket Cast is, and I give this advice every time. You have to be subscribed and have downloaded several shows. Have we sunk that message in yet before you can rate it? Subscribe to youtube.com/ifanboy, where you can watch all of the video shows that we ever did, especially. You can watch this. Obviously, you know that because you're doing it. Unless you have some weird smuggling of episode thing going on. And you can watch all of the very old video shows we did from 2007 to 2012. The idea was that they were evergreen, but then 20 years goes by and it turns out that that's not a completely elastic term.
Some are and some aren't. Yeah.
Finally, you can join us in the iFanboy after show exclusively for patrons at the $10 or higher level, where we talk about all the books briefly that we read this week that did not make this main show. That'll be there. Thank you so much for listening and watching.
I'm Conor.
I messed it up because I said it. Yeah, I know.
I'm Ryan.
I'm gonna need some time on my own here.
Okay.